Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're all having an awesome day. Jean here with more Mars anomalies. Let's get cracking on with part 2 of a vast debris field on the plains of Chronium on Mars. We're continuing with this photograph called Mantle Contact Area, and as always you can find the link in the description below. Acquired on the 17th of March 2019 at 24.9 centimeters per pixel. There's a crop from the low-res JPEG showing you the context in which I found these anomalies. It's located right here, and at the time of this video the high-rise photograph had not been loaded to Google Earth Mars yet. Located 63 degrees 34 minutes south, 159 degrees 34 minutes east. The first anomaly we're checking out right there in the center of the screen is about 5 by 5 meters, and there's a hollowed out area in the Martian surface just to the left, which is about 12 meters wide. And there's nothing else like this in the JP2. Check out the square parts on top of this object. We've got some geometry and symmetry going on there. To the left of this object we've got this area in the Martian surface. Looks hollowed out. Looks almost as if there could be some type of entranceway over there. Maybe this is a hatch, who knows, or a little mining craft that was operating over there. Highly speculative, I know, guys and girls, but what else can we make of these things? Right there we're looking at what looks like it could have been some type of slab toppled over and broke into 4 pieces. Alternatively, these are 4 pieces that were manufactured to fit together. That whole piece there is about 20 by 20 meters. And if we take a close-up look, we can see the 4 parts, and if you look at the shapes, they look like they fit together into this circular feature, and we've got a uniform depth with this slab. Right there we're looking at some more of these strange objects with little protrusions or domes on them, and this one over here, for example, is 10 by 12 meters, and we've got 2 of those. Check out the straight edges over here, the very smooth flat surfaces on them. 2 straight edges here with a right angle, and then as always the protrusions on top. Rather interesting phenomenon. And then another one of these triangular objects with a rounded apex. Seen many of those as well. Then we're looking at this piece over here, which is about 15 to 18 meters long, and also it has a rounded side there and on the inside as well, and it's got a straight edge on either side. Also has a protrusion on top and a bevel over there just above it. And we'll have a look at some more. This is from part 1. Also looks like a megalithic slab. This one's got a hole in it and a little triangular glyph just next to it. Yeah, we're looking at these 2 anomalies over there. This one over here in the center is about 15 by 15 meters, and the protrusion or dome on this one is about 3 meters in diameter. Check out the straight edge over here. I wonder if these are 2 parts that fit together, or could this be one part with the bevel cut across the surface. And then on the one side here we've got a row of protrusions or knobs. Got a larger one in the center and then smaller ones on either side. We've got this oblong piece over here with a protrusion in its center. Here's a very interesting piece as well. Measures about 15 to 14 meters across, and I've discovered many of these in the past as well. Check that out. We've got this rounded part on the top, comes out over here to the right, and it has a right angle to it over there, and a little protrusion or knob on the surface. Very similar to these from the ruins in Cusco, Peru. Also check that out. Very similar to this one. There's another one that's similar to it over there. Although these look the same, on Mars they are much bigger, at least 2 to 3 times bigger. Very interesting. I wonder if these were blocks that were also parts of these walls on Mars. Then we're looking at this piece over here to the right, and it's about 20 to 25 meters long, rounded in shape, and then it's got these smaller parts on top. Here we're looking at 2 huge pieces, about 15 by 10 meters each, and looks like they have a gap between them of about a meter and a half. These straight edges looks like they fit tightly together. On top we've got some symmetry and geometry in that pattern over there. Got these 3 parts arranged in a triangle, and in the center we've got that small little dome or protrusion. Here we've got 3 in a row over there, parallel to it, another 3 over there. Strange little parts on top of these 2 blocks. I wonder if they move apart to reveal an entranceway. Who knows what those were. Now we're looking at these anomalies, and makes them interesting is the hollowed out part over here, with this protrusion in the center, and then this small little dome-like feature on top of this one. Very interesting how this has been hollowed out. Check out that thin line around the edge. Okay, here's another disc-shaped object there, about 18 meters in diameter, and it has this row of similar parts on top. Get this rounded edge over here, and the spacing between these 4 parts. So yeah, it looks like it's hollowed out. That circular part is the same geometry as the outer edge. Very interesting. I wonder if that is a type of a structure or hatch. Right, then we're looking at this object over here, measuring about 15 by 10 meters, and it's got a rounded dome-like shape to it, convex in shape. There's a small U-shaped part on the side here, very regular looking that, and then these smaller blocks surrounding it, very similar to this one. That's from Revisited, Weird Structures or Ruins in Elysium Planitia near Insight Lander. Also this dome-like feature, just like an igloo, and then it's got these smaller parts surrounding it. Also on top, a protrusion there, as well as one on top of this one over there. That looks like a little entranceway, maybe even over here, with that little part sticking out there. Here we're looking at this rectangular part, about 12 by 15 meters in size, and looks like a megalithic slab perhaps, but look at the straight sides and the right angle there, and then this little triangular feature in the center. This over here on the side also looks rather strange, like some type of propeller. Get that circular part in the center with these fins coming off of it. Rather strange. And then there's some layering over here as well. Look at that piece to the left underneath this part over here. There's another one very similar to it from Weird Craft and structure artifacts found in Kotka Crater on Mars. One of these rectangular shaped parts, also slightly elevated here to the right. Some strange parts over here. And there's, just for comparison, checking out the artificial structure type look to these. Right, the triangular obelisk shaped object there, about 8 by, let's see, 18 meters. And on top of it we've got alignment of smaller parts. Seen this before, I just couldn't find that similar image in time for this video, so check that out. Another disc-like object over here to the bottom right, and that's about 12 by 12 meters. Smooth, flat surface, and it has a protrusion right there in its center. Right, there we're looking at another one about 8 by 10 meters in size, and as usual it has a protrusion in its center which measures about 1.5 meters in diameter. This part over here, a little bit smaller, about 5 by 8 meters, has a little spherical object next to it over there of about 1.5 meters to 2 meters in diameter. Get the uniform thickness to this block, and then over here to the one side we have a little spherical object. Another disc-like object over there, about 12 by 10 meters, has a smooth flat surface as well, with these smaller parts on the top. And there they are for you to compare. Highly irregular looking boulders, I must say. And yeah, I've added 2 from part 1 of this series. What are the chances of this occurring naturally in nature? Right, here we're looking at this oval object over there, the little triangle on the top. Each side of that triangle is about 3 meters long, and you can see it sitting in this carved out part on top of this oval object. Has symmetry and geometry to it as well. Definitely convex dome-like shaped object. Another dome-like object there. This is about 15 meters across, and the lines on top of it are scan line artifacts, but check that out. That's it for part 2, as well as the conclusion of a vast debris field on the plains of Chronium. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it informative and interesting. Share it with your friends, and let's see if we can get to the bottom of what's going on Mars. Do remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, and you do, to click on the bell and to click all. Then you'll be notified when I upload my next video. Thanks again for watching, guys and girls. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.